Every father knows that the day is coming. The day when the baby cub decides to challenge the Lion King. But what happens in that moment? Do you roar? Do you retreat? Or do you pause and ask the one question that can change everything? Now, I know y'all think you know what the question is. Most of us ask the wrong one. When conflict shows up, we say, what am I gonna do? But the deeper, more powerful question here is, who have I decided to be? Man, when you know that, when you know who you are, what you do is gonna take care of itself. Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
Driven by purpose, walking God's plan. You're looking at a certified man.
All right, we ain't gotta keep going through this. Y'all know, real situation, man I'm coaching. His son, he had a situation with him. His name is, let's call him Omar. So Omar is 48 years old. His son, 15 years old, let's call him Jeremy. Omar and Jeremy. So it's the weekend and Omar's with his son. They've been through some ups and some downs. But lately it seems like Jeremy has been kind of acting like he don't really want to come over to his dad's crib. So it's Saturday afternoon. Omar, the dad, kind of makes a lighthearted request. He's like, hey, bro, might want to start picking up behind yourself, man. Ain't no maids here. Whatever. Jeremy smacks his lips. First of all, I can't even, if I smacked my lips, I'm not talking about my dad, my mama, I'd have been picking, okay. Anyway, Jeremy smacks his lips. Omar checks him immediately. Hey, yo, bro, we don't do that here. Nah, son, we don't do that. You know I don't play that. But while Omar is talking, Jeremy hits him back with the whatever, bro, and walks off. Omar is livid. Blood is boiling. And in that moment, he said, I heard that this could happen. I heard that there comes a time when the cub is going to challenge the Lion King. But does it have to play out the way that I'm about to make it play out? So that was his crossroad. That was his question. But the real question should have been not what am I going to do right now, but who am I deciding to be right now? Because, can we go here? In any given situation, we always have options. We have options in conflict. We have options in marriage. We have options in parenting. We have options in business. But the option does not start with the action. The options start with identity. All right. I'm always telling my business. All right, here we go. So in a tough conversation with my wife, well, I won't give specifics. I'll tell you, I'm going to give you some examples. So if I'm in a tough conversation with my wife, I have so many options. Some of them are, decent, some ain't. I could actually be the child that is a little boy who still needs his father's approval. Yeah, I could be him to my wife. I could be the son who wants unconditional love from his mama. Sometimes you just want to lay your head in your mama's lap and know that it's going to be okay. And I know that is a feeling that's not what she's designed for. However, I could stand on business and still try to be that person. Hey, I need you to accept me just as I am, good, bad, or indifferent, the good parts, the bad parts, accept me and love me. And oh, by the way, I already know you do it because I see you do it for my son. I can stand on business. I can go there, but that's a choice. That's a decision to be him. You following me? Another option, I could be the husband. I could be strong. I could be steady. I can hold masculine frame, and I can extend grace and compassion. I could be that. Another option is I could be the father. I could be the one who looks at my wife through the lens of empathy, and I can see the little girl inside her. And I can remember that when wounds get triggered, we sometimes revert back to the age when the wound first happened. And in that moment, I can choose not to take her words or her actions personally because they're coming from a place of protection, not attack. I'm talking, I hope y'all hear me, but I got options. You got options. You could be the victim. You could be the perpetrator. You could be the agitator. Or you could be the healer. The question is never first, what will I do? The question first got to be, who have I decided to be? Hear me? And I said decided because there's a difference between a choice and a decision. A choice means you still are picking from the menu. A decision means you cut off the other options. As a matter of fact, the Latin word for decide literally means to cut off. I think it's decidere or something like that. Whatever, how we say it. Decidere, I like saying it. But when I decide who I'm going to be, I now have eliminated all of the versions of me that do not serve that moment. Talk, Bowe. Hey, when I decide who I'm going to be, I have eliminated all of the options or all of the other versions of me that do not serve this moment. Hey, bro, I can be a savage, but this moment does not call for that. It's a different touch that this moment is calling for. Viktor Frankl, he's a Holocaust survivor. He wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning. Great book. Anyway, he said, while he was in a German concentration camp, a couple of them, he said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Cold, bro. Another thing he said was, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose your attitude in any given set of circumstances. To choose your own way. Viktor Frankl. See, he couldn't control his captors. He couldn't control the horrors around him. Can't imagine what he went through. But he could decide who he was going to be in the middle of all of that. And if he could do it in a concentration camp, surely you, me, Omar, can do it in our living rooms. Surely we can do it in our homes. Surely we can do it in our marriages. Surely we can do it in our businesses. It's a choice. So that got me excited. I'm so happy about that. So practically, at work, with your employees, with your boss, ask yourself, who am I deciding to be right now? With your kids, whether it's your toddler, whether it's your teenager, hell, with your adult kids, ask yourself, who am I deciding to be right now? With your spouse, whether y'all are in a rocky season or you having really calm seasons, a calm moment. Hey, in that moment, ask yourself, who am I deciding to be right now? Because when you get identity right, actions are going to flow naturally. Now, let me give you this because I got to land this plane. One of the things I want to warn you of is that it's not going to always be easy. I was thinking about this the other day. Farmers, they deal with fallow, fallow ground is like real hard, concentrated, hard to deal with land. Farmers deal with fallow ground. Chefs run out of food when unexpected guests arrive. Veterinarians, they get bit by the very dogs they trying to help. But none of these realities make them any less who they are. Farmer is still a farmer. A chef is still a chef. A veterinarian is still a veterinarian. And I'm saying to you, likewise, do not let circumstances make you lose sight of who you are. Hey, bro. Hey, you are needed. All of you is needed, man, fully, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. And don't just build on one area of your life and neglect the others. You might be a truck, all right? A Ford truck physically. But you got to remember, a truck got 4 tires, not just 3. You can be excelling very well in one area, but all the other areas aren't doing well, and you ain't going nowhere. Don't be the guy like with the bodybuilder chest and the little chicken legs. Adorable. Adorable legs. Because sometimes the moment is going to require something different from you. And you got to be well-versed in those other areas to be able to provide it. Sometimes you might be James Evans from Good Times. Other times you might have to have the compassion of Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Both versions are necessary, and both versions are inside you. But the wise man knows when to call on which. You feel me? Bro, you are needed. You are required. You to answer the problems you don't even know yet. But it's only going to work if you decide who you're going to be. Don't just drift into situations reacting. Walk into them already knowing your identity. Why? Because you chose that I'm going to decide who I'm going to be. You made that clear. And because you know who you are, what you do is just an echo of that understanding. Faith is good, but faith without works is dead. And faith don't work unless you do. So say it with me. You already know I'm going to say, hey, who have I decided to be? Be blessed.
Driven by purpose, walking God's plan. You're looking at a certified man.